Hi, babies. It's rain.
And Mac. It's your bad beach guy in the house tonight.
Off to a great start with Barbarian.
Yeah, so second episode, we're doing the do. Today we're looking at Barbarian. This movie was directed and written by Whitest Kids You Know alumni Zach Cregger. Um, for reference,
Kid You Know.
for those of you who may know Whitest Kids You Know but don't specifically know Zach, he is the man that played Abraham Lincoln in the famous skit where he was being murdered with a hammer.
Good shit. Good shit.
It was produced by Aaron Milchan, I think, and then Roy Lee, Raphael Margulies, I'm bad at names, and J.D. Lifshitz.
A name. A name.
I don't know.
This is the Megan.
Megan all over again. It is Megan all over again. I strongly urge anyone listening to actually go watch Barbarian first, because there will be spoilers, and Barbarian is a movie best to go into like fully blind, just because it's so fucking crazy.
Spent so much time on that first scene, man. It's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
wild.
yeah.
So yeah. Sorry, my eye itches. Let's get into it. So just starting off light, like we did with Spookies. Did you like the movie?
I loved Barbarian. That was the craziest. I feel like that was some of the craziest twisting I've seen in horror for some time. I was fully expecting the guy to be a creep. Fully expecting him to be such a
Yeah.
fully expecting him to be a creep. The way he just kept coming on to test was crazy. Just hi. Hi.
I lost something.
Oh, your mind?
What are you looking for?
My Sprite.
It's behind the computer.
Sorry. No cuts. Y'all need to know that I lost my Sprite. Give you a little ASMR.
Brother lost the Sprite.
Not the
Oh, shit.
ASMR.
But it was a very good movie in my opinion. Just I don't want to call it a monster because it's not a monster. It
was just a person.
She
Like
was
I
just
kept saying.
Just a
Really?
lady.
Inbred lady, and I felt really bad for her.
Yeah. I mean, it goes without saying, I love Barbarian. I thought, in a world of, like, really shitty, like, thriller movies, it was really good because it definitely subverts your expectation. Because it definitely seems like it's going to be like a rape revenge movie almost
It does feel like
in the
that.
beginning, and then it just turns into like not that really quick. Especially with the Skarsgård dying so early because he's like set up to be like the creep, and then he gets his head fucking bashed.
Just violently. That was such a throw off for me. I fully thought he was going to survive a little bit longer. I thought he was going to be a problem character. No.
He got fucking bodied immediately.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really good. I had a really good time watching it. The cuts were wild, trying to figure out. A big part of like when I watch horror movies is trying to figure out why, like, oh, why is this movie called this, right? And so my whole thing was like, who is the barbarian? What is this about? And it's like, oh, this is not who I thought the like barbarian quote unquote would be.
Yeah, it definitely is a very good subversion.
Old man Jenkins in his sloppy ass jalopy case. Like, just doing sloppy jalopy shit to him. Oh, God.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, God.
What was your favorite part of the movie, would you say?
My favorite part had to be the crackhead in the water tower scene where he was like, I've been here 15 years. I survived. She ain't gonna come here. And then she like fucking bursts through the wall and
And
like
just
beats the
gets
shit out of
him.
him with
Yeah.
his own arm. That's my favorite scene.
Yeah. I love. He was such a shitty fucking character. We're really bad at names because I don't know these people's names
I don't know
either.
any of their
I
names. I just remember
remember
Tess.
Tess. Yeah.
That's it. I just remember
But
Tess.
Jason Long's character just being insufferable. And there was just something about it when he goes upstairs to Google if he can list like underground rooms on
Yeah.
square footage, like is really fucking funny to me.
I'm not even about to hold y'all. I was kind of hoping that he would like have a redemption arc, and then I was like, oh, it's
Dude, and then
over.
you
It's
test
so
off the
over.
fucking water tower.
The moment he was like, I'm gonna see how much square footage this is, I was like, oh, he's a piece of shit.
Mhm.
He's garbage.
It wasn't
It
the
wasn't
implied
the.
rape.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
no.
say.
I feel like that got me, but I also feel like don't get me wrong, I'm not excusing rape at all before anyone hears me. And be like, oh, canceled already.
It's episode 2.
Like,
Episode 2.
it's like the remorse had me for just a second. It's like,
He's an actor.
you're an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are an actor. The remorse had me for a second there, and then you were like, ah, yes, square footage as soon as you saw the revenge horror room. You gotta go. You a problem. You need to be dead.
No, yeah, I was actually going to say that my favorite scene was probably when he did throw Tess off the building, and the mother, if you will,
Shall be referring to
was
her as the mother from now on.
yeah, she like followed her and like was trying to save her because I was like, like because you think like this whole movie you're like, oh, this mother is so like scary bad, she's like an evil, she's the bad guy type of deal. um and then you kind of see like her backstory and stuff, and then she does that for like Tess where she's like, I'm going to save her. It's kind of like, oh, it makes you feel bad, especially because like in the end she fucking kills her anyway, so it's like, oh god.
Yeah, she did do that.
Hmm.
Okay. Would you recommend this movie to somebody else?
Oh, absolutely. That's not even a question. How would I rate it?
We'll get to
Well,
ratings
we'll get to
later.
that.
Yeah,
We'll get
yeah.
to that. I think this is a solid watch. It is most definitely a solid watch of the movie. I would happily recommend this to people. This is not obviously this is not a spooky situation. I implore you to go into this movie actually paying attention. It is important that you pay attention to every detail in that movie
Yes.
because all of it ties in to what is happening. Especially when you get to like the ending where you find out who the barbarian actually is.
Yeah, I of course would recommend this movie to people. I think most of these movies that we watch on this channel or things that we cover is like I would recommend to people because I spend pretty much every day of my life something horror related. So a lot of this is going to be me being like, guys, we gotta watch this. Guys, we gotta watch this.
Fair enough, yes.
So this, of course, I recommend it, and I will recommend it to like even people who don't like horror because of it has such like a heavy theme, and all around just like it is just the twist is
That it is.
No, yeah, for like everybody else said, I would definitely recommend it to others. And I would definitely recommend it. Don't even like read the description. Don't watch a trailer. Just go into it.
Please just
Yes.
watch. It's
Just go into it blind. Nothing.
it's worth not knowing what's happening because when you find out what's happening, I mean, you're gonna be in it.
you're gonna be shocked. Yeah. So did you have a favorite character besides the obvious like Tess? Was
I
there
was gonna say
somebody
Tess
else
is
that
a
was like
bad
The
bitch.
crackhead.
the crackhead?
The Kraken. The Kraken was my favorite.
I think Skarsgård's character is my favorite because of the subversion, right? Um, I have a question about like themes of the movie, but he is so stereotypical white man coded.
Hmm.
Like not even trying to be like, oh, the white guys, but it's like that is like if I see a white guy on the street, that's who I imagine is Skarsgård's character.
I can see that.
Hmm.
Like it is just like it looks like his name should be like Trevor.
I think isn't his name Matt?
I don't remember.
I think it's Matt or Matthew or
I have a
something.
freed up phone. I can look now.
Oh.
I don't know why I said Trevor, but it just like
I'm sorry, because
I want to say it's
such
like
a
Matt or
stereotypical
something
name.
like
it
that.
is. Let me get on IMDb. It's gonna be like, hey, do you want to use our app? And it'll be like, no, I don't.
Should we answer while you're looking things
Yes.
up?
Want
Okay.
a break from the ads?
Want a break from the ads?
That's Keith. Keith, not even close
Keith.
to Matt.
Actually, you know what? Second to Trevor. Second to
And
Trevor.
Justin Long was AJ.
That's right. His name is AJ.
Oh my god! Like the quote unquote monster is the mother. That is the character's
mother.
name.
Okay, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The crackhead's name was Andre.
Okay.
All right, I will now remember Andre. Rest in peace, Andre, who got his ass beat with his own arm.
Yeah.
You do not deserve that.
Yeah. So besides Tess, did you have a favorite character?
I mean, I like the complexity that is the mother, honestly.
That's
That's
super
fair.
fair.
You know?
Yeah.
I think, like I said, I think that her whole situation is very sad, very fucked up, you know, and just everything about her is an interesting character. Dog.
Puppy.
Okay.
Sorry, we had a moment.
We got distracted by dogs.
Okay. How did you feel about the twist?
Once again, that was one of personally that was one of the best twists that I've seen executed.
Water drinking ASMR.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I'll stop.
As far as I've seen, that was one of the best executions of a twist, personally for me.
Mhm.
Because again, completely subverted my expectations. I genuinely thought, Keith. I almost called him Matt. I genuinely believed
Trevor.
that Keith was going to be, I thought he was going to be our killer.
Like this fucking weirdo. Yeah.
I
Yes,
felt that.
I seen this movie late. There's another movie. Let me see what it's called. That Sebastian Stan is in. That I thought this movie was gonna be like that. Is it? Yes. Okay, so it's called Fresh, and that is very much where I thought this movie was going because Fresh is like Sebastian Stan plays like a very like suave character, but he's actually like a fucking cartoon villain.
I love cartoon villains.
Like a Griffith anime type. Like he
Oh
is
god.
horrendous.
I love cartoon villains, minus Griffith.
Yeah. So, but that's
Nobody likes
'cause I
Griffith.
seen
No.
Fresh first because I seen Barbarian hella late, and that's where I thought it was going. And I was like, is this just like another like Fresh? And it turned it on its head. It was not another Fresh. And I was like, oh. I was like, Skarsgård got a fucking body.
Yeah.
And then like, the mother comes crawling out like, and I'm like, ugh. Her fangs are fanging everywhere.
Hey, so just PG-13 warning.
Those things.
There's a lot of
Those
titty.
things, beat that. Justin Long had to put that thing in his mouth.
Hairy nipples. Hairy nipples.
Yeah.
Honestly, don't feel bad for him though, considering he's like a
he
rapist.
sucked. Yeah.
Oh yeah, rapist gets hairy titty in the mouth. You deserve that. You deserve worse. And I'm very glad you got shot at the end of that one.
Oh, yeah.
You suck.
Yeah, he sucked.
God, Tess tried her best to like save this man, and it's like you really shouldn't have.
She like didn't know. And that's
She
just how good
didn't
of a
know.
person she was.
I love Tess.
But
She's
yeah,
my
for like
favorite.
the twists and stuff like that, I very much did not expect it. I think I kind of like sat there and like gasped at first. I was like, "Oh shit!" And then like it just cuts. There's like this big hard cut in like the middle of the big hard cut. Anyway, in the middle of the movie, and it's like, huh? It's like this isn't, huh?
Yeah, because cuts to Justin Long's character, cuts to AJ.
Yeah.
And then
Driving down the highway.
AJ gets like kidnapped and then it cuts to like a flashback.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like throwing shit at you and you're like, I didn't have enough time to process what just happened and
Yeah.
you're changing
When
scenes.
I tell you guys that the initial twist, where the mother came crawling out, it was cute. So like, and for context, Will is my boyfriend. You will hear a lot about him in this podcast. Possibly even hear from him because he'll be over here sometimes.
A little guest star.
Our fun little guest star, fellow autismo. I don't think you guys noticed it. When the mother came running out, it was so funny to me because he jumped. He jumped so hard. He jumped so hard. He was just like laying against me, and I like felt him hit my head with my jaw.
Chin checked you. Out of fear.
Jumped and was like, "Oh!"
Jesus.
I think I was just so distracted because I knew the twist was coming, but I forgot about the titties. So like I was like so caught up in the titties that I didn't really process anyone's reaction.
No, because it was so fucking weird. He jumped, I jumped, and we're just
We
like,
were all mesmerized.
stairs. Timber and titty on the screen. Timber and titty on the screen.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Okay. So yeah, now we can get into kind of the nitty gritty of the message of the movie, and the way I think Zach had it, and like the way I seen it was that every man in this movie, besides like maybe Andre, like represented a different facet of misogyny.
Mhm.
So like we had Keith, who was less like hating of women, but more of like women are fragile. I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm the man. I'm protecting you. What?
The fuck was that?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Brief
But
pause. There was a creature just flying around.
it's probably a stink bug. To be fair, we get stink bugs bad. I sprayed, so if it's over there, it probably will die. But sorry, but yeah. So Keith is like the embodiment of like the low-key misogynist who is like, I'm the male, so I'm the stronger one.
Mhm.
I'll take care of you. You should drink with me. Like, we should hang out. We should do this. Where it's like very annoying, but he's kind of good intentioned. But it's like your good intentions are still very misplaced.
Yes.
Whereas like Justin Long was like AJ was the
Hardcore.
I would say hardcore. He was kind of like the middle, like the pathetic misogynist, where it's like you see women as objects, but you're just like a pathetic man. Whereas like I think the guy his name was Frank, like the sloppy jalopy as you call him.
The
Was like
actual,
He's the
hardcore,
hardcore.
like hate women
the
are
actual
properties.
barbarian.
Yes, the actual barbarian
Brother
questions,
was-
kidnapped women,
Ooh.
kept them as sex slaves, like, and I thought it was interesting to see a man be able to write a movie that was so like on like brand, on key with like the different types of misogyny.
I want to add to that. I personally I can't say that it was really that hard because if we're talking about like the facets of misogyny, of course a man would understand that. He is a man.
Yeah, but I mean more so that it was handled with like delicacy. Like the woman was actually like a character.
Yeah, fair.
Instead of like the men are the focus. And like this is how misogyny is. It was like the woman was the character. For a good chunk of the movie, she had the knowledge and power to get out. She was the survivor.
Right.
When it could have just been like, yeah,
She's kind of
misogyny's there, and then she's just a pretty lady.
Yeah,
like that's what it's surprising because usually when men write these things, that's what happens. Even when they're trying to make a strong female character, it ends up just being like, well, she's kind of bland and doesn't have a personality.
Yeah.
But like Tess had like a backstory, and she had like things she was running from, and you've seen how she like she was a very like smart woman. She's like, this Keith guy is giving me bad vibes.
Yeah.
But as he started talking, I think she started to process like, okay, he's just like a dude. Like a
He was
stereotypical
just
dude.
really awkward, and
Yeah,
he was trying.
He meant well, but he still grew up in like the patriarchy, quote unquote. And so like it was like that. But then she was still such a good person that she was like seeing what like men can do and still went out of her way to try to save a man she didn't know, who ended up being a piece of shit, but she didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's more so like surprising that he was able to handle it with. That shows how good of a writer he is. He was able to handle these things with care and still make a female character that like mattered to the story.
It's kind of interesting when you think about the fact that a lot of them died. Well, all
Oh
the
yeah,
men.
that's definitely a stink bug.
Yeah. The men died after the men all died after something misogynistic happened that they did, such as when Tess came up and was like, "Hey, um Keith, I forgot his name for a second. Hey Keith, there's something downstairs, like we need to get the fuck out of here." And Keith was just like, "Oh, you're like hallucinating." Like he was like really downplaying it. He was like, you are like just freaking out, like you're hallucinating, it's
Yes.
fine. And then he goes down and he gets murked, right? And then with like AJ, he like fucking throws her off the building after trying to he said that he had this like whole redemption arc, right? Like he was saying that he was like, I will never do anything bad again, blah 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 blah. And then he like straight up is just like, I'm gonna sacrifice you so I can like be alive, like I can live.
Yeah, I also
Yeah.
I like how it at least with AJ and the sloppy jalopy man, it kind of played into the well, you did worse things than me, so I'm a better like person,
Yeah.
right? Because like he was so obviously a bad person, but once he seen like the snuff films
Mm-hmm.
the sloppy jalopy man made, he was like, "You're disgusting." It's like so are you.
Yeah,
You did the same
you
exact
are
thing,
still
just
a
to a lesser
rapist.
degree.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like it was that was also like a very interesting take
Yeah.
that was put into the movie of like that's also very much how men act. It's like, well, if I didn't do something really bad, I'm a better person. It's like,
Mhm.
no, you're still a bad guy.
Yeah, it's kind of like the ideology that I feel like a lot of like men have. Not to sound like fucking misogynistic or whatever. Misandrist, yeah, that one. Not to sound
Look, I
misandrist
love
or
men.
whatever.
I am a man. I'm a gay man. But like it, you see it.
Yeah.
You see it. Like it's
Like men
hard to
are always
ignore,
like, oh well, I didn't do
especially in
something
media.
as bad as this other person.
So like
And it's
I'm a
like,
good guy. It's like
no.
You still
You're
are.
still an
You're
asshole.
doing
Still shit.
You're still the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I think if more men were capable of writing a story like this, where the woman can be still have her own agency or fight for her own agency amongst this sea of misogyny,
Mm-hmm.
I think we would be in a better place. And that's why I like horror movies, and that's why I hate people that are like, horror movies are political. I'm like, every horror movie is political. Every horror movie is political. I'm gonna slap you in the fucking mouth.
Every horror movie is making a statement, even if you don't realize it. It's just your media illiteracy that's preventing you from seeing what the message is.
Let's say bug disappeared. No, I found it.
I apologize for our
People
interruptions.
who know about stink bugs will know.
Stinky monkey.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, even in the sense of this is getting a little off topic with it, but like, yeah, one of like my favorite horror movies is like Candyman, and I love Candyman, but Candyman is like
It's cool.
absolutely a statement on like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, we'll watch Candyman, and we'll have a conversation about it.
Yes.
A conversation that we can have respectfully. Only one of us have lived that experience, but we can still have a good constructive conversation about them. We'll watch all of them, and you'll see the descent of how they took this beautiful character and fucking just made him a shitty slasher, and it was very depressing.
Yeah.
Also, since we're on the topic of Candyman really quick, R.I.P. Tony Todd. You were a real one. You were the goat.
Rip and pepperoni. We love you.
Okay.
We're also recording this on the day the Pope died, so
Yeah,
rip the Pope.
That's always fun.
crazy. We kind of talked about it, but like more in depth. How did you like really feel about? I was gonna call him Matt. About Keith.
Okay, so I did have like I had my doubts that he was, you know, I had my doubts about him. I thought he was a creep. I absolutely thought he was a creep. But, it kind of shifted a little bit. I can't say exactly when, but there was a shift in my view toward him, and I started to like Keith a little bit more. It was I want to say I think when he and like Ted started like bonding over like her short film, um, and his music career and stuff like that. I think that's when things started to really turn around for them,
Yeah,
and it felt less creepy.
I definitely feel like Keith, out of the three main men in the movie, was the one that could have been like educated.
Hmm.
I think he was just
Yeah,
a majority of like, that sometimes that's just how boys grow up, and the fact that like, but he was so like open to like trying to be a good guy, and yeah, it was kind of pushy. But I feel like if you like taught him like, hey, this is not okay, he would be like, oh, because there were times when like Tess like pushed back and he was like, my bad.
yeah. Like he knew when to step back.
Yeah.
He understood boundaries.
So and like I think it was a good touch having him be like, you want some wine? I'll drink it first, like right out of the bottle. I like because he like clearly understood that a woman being alone in the house with a stranger, especially a stranger that's a man, is an uncomfortable situation.
Yes.
And while he went about it in a very awkward and not the greatest way, he did try to make her feel comfortable.
The best way I can describe how he like behaved, boyish charm is like the best way I can put about it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he wasn't really like full grown adult man about it. It was awkward interaction with this girl that I think is very pretty, and I kind of want to get to know her.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all the sentiments that have been said so far in the sense of I just think that like did bother me when he was very much like, oh, like I said, like where he was kind of like, oh, you're just like overreacting. It's fine. You know what I mean?
That
That bothered
was
me.
it.
That wasn't it.
That was
I do
definitely
gotta
an
say,
ick.
I probably do the same thing. If someone came running up the steps and was like, "There's a crazy woman down there," I'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I don't even think that at that point she had said
Oh
that
yeah,
there's
she's like,
a
"There's a
woman,
crazy
there's a
room," and
room.
I don't even think it would be like me being like trying to gaslight her. I'd be like, "You're why would that be in somebody's basement?" And then out of pure curiosity, I would be like, "Well, I gotta go look." Just
Yeah,
like
but
wait
he
for a
was
second.
like
Yeah.
outright like I don't believe you, right? And that's what made me mad because I would be like if somebody's freaking out like that to me, I'd be like, okay, like calm down, I'm gonna go check it out, right? We can leave. I'm just gonna go check it out.
He
Period.
definitely did go about it wrong way, but
I don't think he has bad intentions,
I
like you
think I
guys were
would have,
saying though.
I unintentionally, I think I would have reacted the same way. I've been like, "You're insane."
Yeah.
Because I don't know, there's something about like when people freak out and run to me, I'm like, you're crazy. Because in my brain, I'm like, this is like, yeah, this is kind of a shitty neighborhood, but like, it was probably like a suburban white neighborhood back in the day. Like, who's building something like that under their house? Even though I know men are crazy and white people are crazy, I still would be like, you're insane. Let me go look.
Yeah. No, I definitely don't fault them for looking, that's for sure.
Like, he definitely could have had more tact.
Hmm.
But I know some people just don't know how to react to someone coming at them like that.
That's fair.
Because I don't think I would be able to have tact either. If like one of you ran at me screaming like "There's a crazy man in the basement," or "There's a crazy," I'd be like, "Shut up, you're crazy. Let me go look."
Let me go look.
And I'll be like, "Go back." I'm like, "No, I'm going."
See, the fun thing
You're
about
insane.
me, I'm one of those people who takes pictures before I leave a place. So
Yeah, fair, fair.
Yeah.
If she had like snapped it, I'd be like, "Oh,
yeah,
yeah, let's get the fuck out of this."
Yeah.
But like, if you just like ran at me like that, because I know like fear makes people irrational,
That's fair.
and so like I definitely am like not good with dealing with irrational people. Not excusing him trying to gaslight her, because he definitely was trying to gaslight her.
For sure.
But it was like, if I put myself in his shoes, I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah, but
Just
yeah,
because
that's like that's the biggest gripe that I had, because otherwise it seemed like he was trying to be respectful of her and her
Yeah.
boundaries.
because I definitely probably would be like, bitch, you're crazy.
Yeah. I kind of think, like you guys were saying, where he's kind of, maybe he's from like kind of that like that almost
He looks like a
country.
fun kid.
I was gonna say like a country blumpkin kind of kid where they're all taught like, oh, I gotta be a gentleman and take care of take care of a lady. Yeah, and it's like Tessa's sitting here like, I don't need you to take care of
And he's
me.
like, no. This is what I was taught. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, unlearn real quick.
Yeah, some women are okay with being taken care of, and that's fine. They can do whatever they want. If you want to be like a trad wife, be a trad wife, live your life, right?
I would rather be AD rather than like full on take care of me.
Yeah.
I would like life independent without myself.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's like
But
my
no,
thing
I
about it.
definitely get what you're saying, because he definitely, I will say, he was gaslighting the fuck out of her. I just know that, like, I'm also very awkward in situations where people are like freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would probably blurt out, "You're insane. I don't believe you."
Yes.
The same way he did.
It's
He's
like,
like, let him go lost. Like I would unintentionally gaslight you because I'm like, "You're crazy."
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why I'm like I see it a little different, because like I'm not good at dealing with people who are feeling very strong emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So I immediately go in, "You're fucking being irrational. Stop
Yeah.
it." But that's just because I'm a very logical person. So, but he definitely was gaslighting her, and he definitely was kind of gave some. He was a yellow flag at best.
Yeah.
With a personal foul, I think you can back up.
Yeah, he didn't get some green. He was yellow. All right. Okay. We've talked about this guy too, but like real thoughts on AJ.
Ass, trash, can. He deserved to get fucking blasted at the
for
end,
sure.
where his eyeballs got crushed out. Yeah, you
that
had
was
that
crazy.
shit coming.
Did she like rip him in half or some shit? Like she like took him by the eyeballs and like she rips him in
gouged out
half.
his eyes and then just
Rips him in half.
As he deserved. He
Yeah.
sucked.
He was
Disgusting rapist.
He was the character funny as fuck.
Not funny as a character,
But the worst.
as a person.
Not
Oh,
the
yeah.
worst. Sorry, because the old man is the worst. But
He's
very
the
close
worst
to the
type of
worst.
He's
Yeah.
one of the worst. He's
So
not
it's like
the worst,
you
but
at
he's
first
one
are
of them.
like, oh, like maybe it is one of those situations where it's like, oh, maybe this is like an accusation that wasn't like, maybe it was made in bad
Yeah.
faith. You know what I mean? Which
Then he said it, and then I kind of was like,
Yeah, because
maybe
it does
was
start
just a
out.
drunken situation.
Yeah, because it does start out where
not
he is.
defending rapists. I
No,
always defend the
again,
victim.
No, it does. Like it does start out with him like seeming very upset in a different, like upset at the fact of being accused. Like that's
Yeah.
and that's like usually like.
It seemed like he was shocked about being
Yeah, like
accused.
I didn't even talk to her like that.
Right.
And then as it slowly goes on, you're like, oh no, he definitely did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's like a
fucking
scene
did.
where
Yeah,
he's like at like a party and the guy's like he's like with a
Fun
friend or
fact,
something.
that guy played by Zach, the guy that wrote this movie.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool, dude.
So yeah, the guy was like, "Oh, like what did you do though? Like what did you do?" And he was like, "Well, she did say no, and
I'm
then
like,
I had to keep like guiding her."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh no."
No,
I
no,
was like,
that-
"Nope,
you did that.
fuck
You
you."
did that shit. Yeah, he sucked.
Ass. Absolute
And then
ass.
he had like this whole like, "Oh, I'm gonna have my redemption speech. I'm never gonna do anything bad again." And then he
had
fucking
me-
throws
he had
Tess
me
off
for,
a
like,
fucking
2
water
seconds,
tower.
And then he yeeted Tess off the water tower.
And I was like, "Oh no,
And
fuck
I'm
this
like, oh
dude."
wait, no, he
His
sucks.
ass. But I will
Yeah.
tell you, I will say his survival instinct, 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
You actually tried.
That was like, it would have been a good idea if he had executed it correctly.
That's true. Yeah. I feel like like sad because like Keith is such a better person. AJ definitely had way more survival skills than Keith.
Keith was like, "I'm gonna go look."
Crawling down the dark hole like, Tess, be quiet, Tess,
Yeah.
Just get down.
What's wrong, man, get up and
Something bit me. Something bit me, Jess.
It's like, get up and
No,
run.
get the fuck up and run.
Let's go.
Oh, where you going,
We're
bitch?
leaving. We're leaving.
We are
It's like-
leaving.
Like, get off the ground, my boy. You're a grown ass man.
I will say that AJ could have easily gotten murdered in that first scene where he was like refusing to take the bottle, though.
Yeah,
I was like, he's gonna die. I was like, he's gonna die, and then he
It's
didn't.
disgusting, but like,
It's
I'm sucking that milk.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I'm all I'm saying is I'd rather the bottle than
The actual
full-on
nip.
titty in my mouth.
I'd rather the fake titty than the real titty.
Listen, I'll
I'd
take
be like,
that
Mom, can I
strand of
get this?
hair.
I'd be like, Mom, can I remove the hair from
I'm
the
just
bottle?
gonna-
Please? Let me just. Can I do like? Do I have to put my
This
mouth?
is
Can I
not
do
the
like
type of mommy dommy I want.
Yeah, can I do like
Exactly.
a cow where I just kind of. Do I have to like put my mouth
I'm
on
not.
it?
I'm not into your age play shit. Come on
Listen,
now.
as a resident sapphic,
Yeah.
we not doing that in this house.
No. I'll
Absolutely
be your
not.
sugar baby, but I won't suck your nip.
That
Look, I'm not in the women's line, sucking their nips. Like it's just.
Men have nips. Does your husband have nipples?
I mean, it
I
depends.
suck all titties. I don't discriminate.
I mean, I might.
I might discriminate a little bit.
I
I'm
might.
sorry,
suck-
the mother. I will not
Yeah, I
put
know.
that in my mouth.
Not
we are
put
getting
that titty in my
we are
mouth.
getting
we're going
on a weird tangent.
Yeah.
We're gonna get demonetized.
We're
We don't
not
even have
monetized.
monetized.
Yeah, we don't have enough subscribers.
Literally, episode 2.
We don't have monetization.
Our first
So we're gonna
episode
get like banned.
almost past 50 views, and that's already a surprise.
Oh shit!
Hey,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
50 views is a win, kind of.
Hell
It's over
yeah.
46 now. I'm like, wow, that's a surprise.
It's still a
Hey.
win.
Yeah.
We're doing something.
A win is a win.
A win is a win.
Okay, and last but not least, like, just final thoughts on the movie in general. All its themes, all its flaws, all its characters.
There were things that I definitely sat here, like now that I'm thinking back on the movie, where I definitely sat here and I'm like, why did these things happen? Like, it made it seem like there's like paranormal stuff going on at the very beginning of the movie. Like, when Tess is
Yes.
sleeping, the door is closed and then the door is open. So she goes out and she's like, hey, Keith, did you open my door?
It
And he's
feels
like, I was sleeping.
in the beginning, feels very, like, the boy coded.
Paranormal. Yeah.
Where it's like you think the doll is haunted the entire time,
Right.
but this big ass man is just very stealthy.
Yeah. So I was gonna say,
Brahms, the man that you are.
so then who was like,
I think she was just stealthy. I think the mother got up there
the
real
mother
quick,
got up
opened
there?
the door,
Oh,
and was like,
So
Oh,
Andre
okay.
did mention she does leave the house.
yeah, like she goes out. At
She
night.
goes out night and like finds
Oh,
people.
okay. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
explains. I was sitting here like, oh, this is
I
like a
think she
plot
just was
hole.
like surprisingly stealthy for as big and flabby as she was.
Yeah, maybe she was
Flabby.
like, oh shit, there's people here. Why are there people here?
She's like, oh shit, let me get up in here,
My
babies.
Yeah, babies.
Yeah,
Hi, babies.
just all in all, I think The Barbarian is a fucking fantastic movie. I would give it.
An 8 babies out of 10.
An 8 babies out of. No, I would say 9 babies out of 10.
9 babies out of
9
10.
babies out of 10.
I can agree
I
with
would have
that.
liked more of Tessa's backstory.
Yeah.
But I understand not wanting to have the movie focus on her like fucked up
Solely,
past.
yeah.
And more of like her being able to escape not only that, but whatever the shenanigans the mother is.
Yeah.
I just would have liked a little bit more, and I think if I got a little bit more, I would have given it 10 babies out of 10 babies.
It is 9 out of 10 babies for me as well. I agree with this sentiment.
I also 9 out of 10 babies for me, but not for that reason. I kind of feel like the scene where Andre dies kind of also throws me out of the horror movie. That was such a comical scene
It
because
was.
she came
Yeah.
right
Zach
after
was
he
like,
fed it.
remember that I was a comedian.
Yeah, I think that it was weird though that Andre died because, like I said, every other person in that movie we were talking about, at least, is every other man in that movie that dies because of their own misandrous, or misogynist stupidity.
Whereas necessarily we don't know anything about Andre. I think he.
Something was like a green flag in the movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it was more so he had to die.
Yeah,
because he
was,
was
like-
getting in the way of the mother having her babies,
Mhm.
and the mother was like, in very like mama bear mode, like he is a threat, he
Mhm.
must be eliminated.
Right.
Yeah.
Control-Alt-Delete that man.
Get this bitch out of here.
Like,
It was
Get
just,
this bitch outta
it's
here.
also the way that, right?
it was like, she ain't gonna come in here.
She busts through the wall in the most
Yeah.
Friday, those Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm talking the first one as shit, like where the mom gets dragged through the door
Oh my
window.
god, yeah. She kicked down that wall like the Kool-Aid man.
And then
It was
ripped off his arm and
crazy.
started beating him to death with it.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
comical. I could not be scared at that point on.
No,
From
yeah,
there
yeah.
on, it was just, this is humor. This is a comedy show.
Yeah. Yeah, the ending definitely took a weird turn. R.I.P. the mother. She just
I
wanted
also
babies.
do like the idea that like at the I think that in like the middle of the movie is when Tess gets out and she's like and she goes to like the police.
Who are also
And
misogynistic.
yeah, the police
Not
are
only
also
misogynistic,
misogynistic.
they're quite literally the representation of the system itself.
Yeah.
Because
Because
they're
Tess
just,
is like a mixed woman. Well, the police officer is black.
Yeah, but he works for the system.
he still
Yeah,
works for the
yeah,
system.
that's right.
And it's just like, I think to put in better words, it's like him and the other cop.
I think having the black cop be like the aggressor was a right move too.
Yes.
Him, because he's like very much upholding the system, and I think that was a right move having him be the one. Because I feel like it would have been cheap if the white cop was like, "This black lady's crazy."
Yeah, she's
it's
like a
like-
mixed woman and she looks like fucked up and she tells them I am from this area
And the black man's
and
like,
they're
"You're a
like,
crackhead."
okay, you're a crackhead. Yeah,
like,
you're insane.
Just the assumption that she was a crackhead and like you did nothing.
Oh, and then they try to say that she's the one who did like a crime because she broke the
Yeah, and he's like,
window.
she's like, "Bitch, I
I
went
escaped
to this
through
house
the
and then
window.
was kidnapped by a giant flabby titted creature."
Yeah.
And I can literally take you guys down there
And they're
if
like,
you
"No."
let me show you.
They're like, "We don't have a warrant," and it's like, the probable cause. Like,
I think if someone if I were a cop,
is kicking down there.
Mhm.
if I were a cop, my first instinct would be to investigate. Obviously, something is wrong.
Yeah, even
This
if you
woman
are
is
a
a mess.
crackhead, this woman is still like frantic.
And she's a little too frantic. This isn't a
This isn't a crackhead standing in the street doing karate.
This isn't a crackhead standing in the street. This is not a mental breakdown. Speaking as somebody who has had mental
She's
breakdowns,
very lucid.
like I have psychotic breaks.
Like, yeah,
but
she is talking about a giant
that's
creature,
lucidity.
but she's still very lucid when talking about it. Like, she's not like, "You got some money."
Yeah.
Like, she's like, "Hey, like, someone fucking died."
Someone is dying down. Someone died, and there's another person that's about to die down here.
And they're just like,
We
"Eh."
have to do something about it.
They're
and
like, "Hey,
rush
you're on
it.
crack." And then they just leave.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so overall, 9 babies out of 10 babies. I don't know why this is our new rating system. Out with stars, in with babies, at least
we're
for
gonna
this
change it for
episode.
this one.
We're gonna have rating systems that are like
Themed.
just themed now with the
We should have
movies.
thought about that a lot of spookies. We could have had something kitties out of something kitties.
10
we
kitty
didn't.
claws out of 10 kitty claws.
But yeah, 9 babies out of 10 babies. And the second episode. Next time, we're doing the analog horror series Vita Carnis, Living Meat.
I love meat people.
I think technically we're all meat people.
Listen,
We're all just bags of meat.
Listen, I don't know about you guys. I have alien in my brain somewhere, okay?
Oh.
This
Are you
is
a lizard
mech
person?
suit.
What's happening?
Oh, so you're not just a bag of meat?
No, I am
Kai
a
is a
meat
lizard
suit.
person confirmed.
Well, I don't have
No,
scales. I don't know
she's-
about that one.
Kai is a mech.
I'm a meat mech.
Okay.
Ew. Okay. Anyways,
I'm meaty mech.
ew. It's an Adult Swim new show.
Share things with everybody, all your friends
Yeah,
and shit, because
what do they say? Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon.
smash that like button. But for real, share this with your friends. Let us have a good time.
And give us feedback.
Yeah,
Let
give
us
us
know how
feedback
you
if
guys
you
feel
like
about
this.
movie, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and watch the movie and tell us how many babies it is.
How many sweet babies?
Sweet baby ink. It's woke.
Alright.
Sorry.
It's woke.
This movie is so woke.
It's woke. Main character's black.
All right. Bye, guys. I love you.
Have a nice night or day.
Babies.
Babies.